The exploration vessel Odyssey moved quietly through the darkness of deep space. It was not a warship, nor a proud flagship of Earth's defense fleet. It was a simple research vessel, built by several nations working together, sent out to test humanity's new jump drive system. The crew of 30 men and women were scientists, engineers, and explorers. Ordinary people with the extraordinary task of seeing what lay beyond familiar stars. Captain Elias Ward stood on the bridge, watching the screens with calm interest. He was not the youngest captain in Earth's fleet, nor the oldest. What made him respected among his crew was his steady manner. Problems came, mistakes happened, but he never raised his voice. Drive test completed, reported Dr. Asha Raman, the chief scientist. Her voice held a quiet excitement. Jump successful, but coordinates do not match. Elias leaned forward. How far off? The science officer tapped a few commands. Numbers flowed across the screen. Very far, Captain. We are not where we should be. This starfield doesn't match our maps at all. For a moment, the crew exchanged glances. Getting lost in the depths of space was the greatest fear of any jump experiment. If they could not return, Earth might never hear from them again. Yet instead of panic, the bridge was calm. People adjusted their instruments, cross-checked data, and spoke in steady voices. Then let's find out where we are, Elias said simply. Hours passed as the Odyssey drifted in this unknown sector. They discovered that the stars around them were bright and full of activity. Strange energy signals filled their scanners. It was not the empty silence they expected from deep space. Captain, I am detecting movement, said Ensign Clark, the navigation officer. Her young face showed focus, not fear. Multiple vessels approaching, very large vessels. The crew gathered around the main screen. Out of the blackness came shapes unlike anything human eyes had ever seen. Enormous starships, each one larger than Earth's entire orbital stations, moved with purpose. Their designs were alien, curved, sharp, glowing with patterns that seemed both beautiful and intimidating. A hush fell over the bridge. First contact, whispered Dr. Raman. Her eyes widened, but her hand stayed steady on her console. No one screamed. No one shouted. They all knew this moment might come. Humanity had dreamed of other civilizations for centuries, and now it was real. The alien fleet surrounded the Odyssey. Energy readings showed power levels beyond anything Earth had imagined. The humans were completely at the mercy of these new beings. A single shot could erase them. Message incoming, reported Clark. Elias gave a small nod. On screen. The screen flickered, and then an alien face appeared. It was tall, elegant, and strange. Its skin shimmered like polished stone, and its eyes glowed faintly. Its mouth moved, producing sounds like flowing water. The crew exchanged looks, listening carefully even though they understood nothing. Dr. Raman adjusted a translator device. After several seconds, a broken version of the alien language came through. Unknown vessel, you have entered sovereign space of the Galactic Empire. State your species, state your purpose. The crew looked at Captain Elias. He stood calmly as if speaking to a neighbor rather than an empire. This is Captain Elias Ward of the Earth vessel Odyssey. We are explorers. We come in peace. His voice was firm, steady, without a hint of panic. The alien studied him for a long moment. Behind it, more figures moved, perhaps other officials, perhaps guards. Their expressions, though hard to read, carried a sense of surprise. They expected fear. They expected stammering or begging. Instead, they found calm. The transmission ended. The crew waited silently, knowing their lives hung on the next decision. Yet no one trembled. They adjusted their chairs, checked their equipment, and continued working as if this were another routine day on the bridge. Minutes later, the alien fleet shifted position. A corridor of ships opened, guiding the Odyssey forward. They want us to follow, Clark said softly. Elias nodded. Then we follow. The humans obeyed without hesitation. The great alien vessels escorted them toward a massive station, larger than any human city. It hung in space like a jewel, lights shining across its surface. Ships of every size moved around it, docking and departing in perfect order. Inside the alien command center, panic was rising. High officials of the Empire watched the recording of the human captain. Species after species had come before them, trembling, crying, or shouting in fear when first captured. Fear was natural. Fear was expected. But these humans? They remained calm. Too calm. "Are they hiding something?" one alien commander asked. "What species shows no fear when surrounded by the Empire's might?" Another replied, "Perhaps they are more advanced than they appear. Look at their expressions. No panic. Only quiet study. Only calm." Whispers spread quickly among the alien ranks. This calmness was not seen as bravery. It was seen as danger, for in their experience, only the most powerful beings behaved with such composure. Back aboard the Odyssey, the crew was escorted to a docking bay. Strange lights scanned their ship, but still they did not panic. They were led by armed alien guards through shining halls filled with creatures from dozens of other races. Everywhere eyes turned toward them. Some aliens looked curious, others looked frightened. Word had already spread. The new species shows no fear. The crew noticed the stares, but they did not shrink away. They walked with steady steps, keeping their heads high. To them it was not arrogance, it was simply their nature. They had trained for this moment. They were explorers, not conquerors. Captain Elias glanced at his people. They were steady, calm, ready. He thought of Earth, far away, waiting for news. He thought of humanity's long dream of finding life beyond their world. Now, that dream had come true. They stood not as desperate wanderers, but as equals, calm in the face of the unknown. And so, the first chapter of humanity's story in the galaxy began not with a battle, not with fear, but with a quiet calmness that would soon terrify the Empire far more than any weapon ever could. The docking bay of the alien station stretched endlessly, filled with starships from dozens of worlds. Each vessel glowed with colors and shapes unlike anything the human crew had seen before. Some were smooth and elegant, like flowing rivers, of metal. Others looked sharp and fierce, bristling with weapons, and everywhere alien workers and soldiers moved in precise order. The humans of the Odyssey stepped out, led by Captain Elias Ward. They walked as they always did, calm, steady, focused. Behind them, alien guards in shimmering armor kept close watch. Their weapons gleamed with energy, as if warning the humans of what would happen if they misbehaved. Yet the humans showed no sign of fear. Dr. Asha Raman's eyes flickered with scientific curiosity. "The air composition here is near perfect, for us," she whispered to Elias. "They even adjusted the pressure to Earth levels. They knew how to make this place comfortable before we arrived." Elias gave a small nod. They were expecting visitors. Maybe not us, but someone. The guards led them through long silver corridors, walls alive with glowing patterns that shifted like streams of light. Strange creatures walked past, tall beings with crystal skin, short ones covered in scales, insect-like aliens with multiple arms. All paused to stare at the humans. Their gazes carried something unusual, not just curiosity, but unease. "Lieutenant," Clark whispered softly, "they look afraid of us." It was true. Whispers spread through the station. The new ones do not tremble. Their eyes are steady. Do they know something we do not? The humans walked on. Finally, the group entered a great chamber filled with alien officials. The room curved like an amphitheater, high seats rising above the central platform. From those seats, dozens of alien leaders watched. Some had translucent skin that glowed with light inside. Others wore elegant robes woven from threads that shimmered like stars. Each species was different, but their expressions shared the same tone, sharp attention mixed with confusion. At the center of the chamber stood a tall figure, clearly the leader of this gathering. Its form was humanoid, but taller than any human, with silver blue skin that shifted shades when it moved. Its eyes glowed like twin lanterns, cold yet intelligent. The alien leader spoke, voice deep and echoing, translated through the device Dr. Raman carried. "You are new to this galaxy," the leader said. "You have entered the domain of the Galactic Empire. No species arrives here by accident." "Who are you?" Elias stepped forward. His voice was calm, steady, as though addressing an old friend. "We are humans, from a world called Earth. We are explorers, travelers seeking knowledge. We do not mean harm." The chamber fell into silence. Dozens of alien leaders leaned closer. Their eyes searched his face for signs of fear, but none appeared. His voice carried no trembling, no hesitation. One alien, with wings folded across, its back leaned toward its neighbor. "They speak as if they are not surrounded by power. Why are they calm?" Another whispered. "Perhaps they bring hidden fleets. Perhaps they are not weak." The leader of the Empire studied Elias carefully. "Explorers, you say? Every species that first came here claimed peace. Yet their eyes betrayed their fear. Yours do not. Why is this?" Elias answered simply. "Fear does not guide us. Curiosity does. We wish to learn, to meet others, and to share. That is why we came." The chamber murmured with low voices. The human's words sounded too simple, too calm, almost unnatural. To prove their sincerity, Dr. Raman stepped forward. She activated a small holographic device. A spinning image of Earth appeared. Blue oceans, green lands, white clouds. "This is our home," she said gently. "We have only just begun to reach the stars. We have no empire, no colonies, only one world, one people. That is what we offer you. Ourselves. Openly." The aliens stared at the hologram. To them, the humans seemed vulnerable, fragile. Yet that very fragility, presented without fear, unsettled them. No species had ever stood before the Empire so open, so calm. The leader spoke again. "You will stay here until the Empire decides your fate. Cooperation will be rewarded. Resistance will be punished." Elias nodded without flinching. "We understand. We will cooperate." Once more the aliens murmured. His voice carried no sign of defeat. He did not beg for mercy. He simply agreed, calm as still water. After the hearing, the humans were guided to living quarters. The rooms were luxurious compared to their ship. Wide beds, glowing lights, fresh food. Yet they remained careful, studying every detail. At night, as they gathered in their quarters, Lieutenant Clark whispered, "Captain, they don't know what to do with us. They look nervous." Elias agreed. "They are used to fear. They expect it. Instead, we gave them calm. And they don't know how to answer it." Dr. Raman added, "To them, calmness is not natural. It must look like a mask. They think we are hiding something." The crew exchanged quiet looks. They had not planned to appear dangerous. Yet without meaning to, they had become a puzzle that frightened the Empire. Meanwhile, across the station, alien officials held urgent discussions. One, Commander slammed its clawed hand on the table. "They are hiding power. No species can face the Empire's judgment without fear unless they believe themselves stronger." Another replied, "Then why show only one ship? Perhaps it is a test. Perhaps more are waiting." A third official, older and wiser, spoke slowly. "Or perhaps their strength is not in weapons, perhaps their minds are different. Calmness itself may be their weapon." The Empire had seen many threats, but never had they seen calmness as dangerous. Yet now they could not stop thinking about it. Back in their quarters, Captain Elias looked at his people. "We are the first humans these beings have met. Every word we say, every step we take will shape how they see our species. We must remain steady. No matter what they do, we must show them who we are." The crew agreed, and so, while other species might have begged or cried, The humans prepared themselves for the next test with the same calm they had carried from the moment they arrived. What none of them knew was that their quiet composure had already begun to change the Empire. In the halls of power, whispers spread faster than light. The humans do not fear us. What are they hiding? What kind of storms forged such calmness? The Empire did not yet know the answer. But one thing was certain: humanity had made its first impression, and it was one the galaxy would not forget. The great station of the Galactic Empire never truly slept. Day and night held no meaning in orbit, and its endless halls remained alive with movement. Ships arrived from distant corners of the galaxy, carrying cargo, messages, and envoys. Among all this activity, one topic had spread like fire: the humans. The crew of the Odyssey had been placed in comfortable quarters, guarded but not mistreated. Food was delivered, translators were offered, and even basic information about the Empire's laws was shared with them. Yet beyond those walls, whispers grew louder. The alien races of the Empire could not understand the humans. They had witnessed the recordings of Captain Elias Ward speaking to the Imperial leaders with steady composure. They had watched the crew walk calmly through the docking bay, surrounded by armed guards without showing panic. And they had seen their quiet eyes, curious but never trembling. To most alien species, fear was natural, almost expected. It was not weakness but survival. Even the strongest warriors showed some trace of nervousness when faced with the Empire's might. But the humans had shown none. This unsettled everyone. The meeting of commanders. In a hidden chamber deep within the station, several high-ranking officials gathered. Holographic displays hovered above their table, showing images of the human crew. "They are dangerous," said General Threx, his scaled hand tightening into a fist. "Do you not see it? No fear means no hesitation. Such a species cannot be trusted." Ambassador Valari, a tall being with crystal-like skin, shook her head slowly. "You assume too much. Perhaps they are simple, perhaps they are naive. Calmness does not always mean strength." Another voice, sharp and insect-like, clicked in disagreement. "No. Calmness in the face of threat means preparation. They may hide weapons, or strategies, or something beyond our knowledge." The debate grew louder. Some argued the humans were harmless explorers lost in the stars. Others insisted they were dangerous, hiding power greater than they revealed. In the end, one conclusion was agreed. The humans must be tested. A sudden skirmish far from the humans' quarters in one of the outer docking zones. Trouble began. Two alien species, old rivals, started arguing over trade rights. Their voices rose, soldiers on both sides drew weapons, and soon the situation escalated into a violent skirmish. Blaster fire lit the bay. Shouts echoed through the halls. Panic spread among workers and traders. The humans, escorted nearby for observation, heard the noise. The guards shouted at them to stay back, but Captain Elias raised a hand calmly. "Hold," he said softly. Dr. Raman looked at him. "Captain, should we intervene? This is not our fight." Elias studied the scene carefully. Aliens were shouting, panicking, scattering. Yet amid the chaos, he noticed something important. Neither side wanted total war. It was a burst of fear, not a true battle. He turned to his crew. "We are explorers. If we can help, we should." Ignoring the nervous guards, the humans stepped forward into the bay. Blaster fire still flashed, but the humans did not run or scream. They moved with purpose, keeping their steps steady. Lieutenant Clark shouted, her voice sharp and clear. "Stop firing. You are only feeding panic." Her words, translated through her device, carried across the bay. Some aliens turned in shock. No human ducked, no human flinched. Engineer Marcus Silva, tall and broad, calmly walked toward a damaged fuel line that had begun leaking. With steady hands, he sealed it before it could ignite. Others from the crew guided frightened workers to safety, speaking softly, their calm presence slowing the panic. The aliens firing at each other hesitated. Who were these beings that walked into crossfire without fear? Their confusion grew, and, slowly, both sides lowered their weapons. The fight faded into silence. Captain Elias raised his voice. You are not enemies here. You are neighbors on the same station. Do not let fear decide your actions. The words were simple, but they carried weight. Reactions of the Empire. From hidden observation posts, Imperial officials watched everything. What they saw left them uneasy. Look, whispered one commander. They walked into danger as if it were nothing. Another added. Their calm turned chaos into order. Neither side dared continue once the humans stood between them. Do you see now? General Threx hissed. They did not need weapons. They used calmness itself as a weapon. They broke the fight with nothing but steady words. The officials could not agree whether the humans were heroes or threats. But one truth was clear. No ordinary species could act like this. Rumors grew even stronger. Across the station, aliens whispered, the humans stopped a battle. They walk through fire without fear. If calmness is their weapon, what storms must they hide inside? Inside human quarters that night, the humans returned to their quarters. The guards looked at them with new eyes, half respect, half fear. Lieutenant Clark sat down heavily. Captain, do you realize what we just did? They think we are fearless. Elias gave a small smile. We did not show fear because we could not afford it. If we had panicked, the fight would have grown worse. Calmness was our only choice. Dr. Raman nodded thoughtfully. Yes, but they see it differently. To them, calmness is unnatural. They think it means power. The crew exchanged quiet glances. Without trying, they had built a reputation that might follow humanity forever. Alien discussions elsewhere. The Empire's council gathered again. This time, voices carried sharper tones. Ambassador Valari argued, they prevented bloodshed. That is a good thing. General Threx slammed the table. It is not goodness, it is control. They command respect without firing a single shot. Do you not see how dangerous that is? A species that wins through calmness cannot be predicted. Another leader whispered, perhaps they are the kind who lead without asking. If other races follow their calm, the Empire's order may weaken. The council fell into heavy silence. A new fear in the days that followed. More aliens came to see the humans with their own eyes. Some visited quietly, pretending to deliver supplies. Others stared from afar. Everywhere the humans went, eyes followed. Children of alien races pointed at them, whispering, those are the fearless ones. Traders bowed slightly, unsure whether to show respect or caution. Even soldiers, hardened and proud, avoided meeting the humans' gaze for too long. The humans did not try to frighten anyone. They simply walked, worked, and studied. They asked questions about alien culture, technology, and history. They listened with patience. But their very calmness, their refusal to rush or show fear, created an aura that unsettled everyone. The Empire had faced warriors, conquerors, and rebels before, but they had never faced calmness. The whisper that spread, on the 10th day of their stay, a whisper traveled across the station and into distant corners of the Empire. The humans are not afraid of death. No one knew where the rumor began, but soon it was everywhere. It grew larger each time it was told. Some said the humans had survived deadly worlds where monsters walked freely. Others claimed humans could control their emotions like machines. A few even whispered that humans had conquered fear itself. None of it was true, but none of it could be stopped. And so, the simple calmness of the Odyssey's crew had now become something greater. A legend, one that both inspired and terrified. The humans themselves did not yet understand what they had started. They only knew that their calmness was no longer just for survival. It had become the symbol of humanity's place in the galaxy. The humans had settled into their routine on the alien station. Each day they explored the halls, interacted politely with alien workers, and studied the advanced technology surrounding them. Their calm nature had already caused whispers across the station, and rumors about their strange fearlessness spread even farther into the Empire. Yet some of the Empire's leaders remained unconvinced. They may be calm, General Threx said to his council, but calmness can hide 1,000 tricks. They could strike at any moment. Ambassador Valari, who often tried to see reason, shook her head, or they may simply be unlike anything we have known. We cannot assume hostility without proof. But proof was exactly what the council demanded. A test was planned, not to harm the humans, but to observe how they would react under pressure. The goal was simple: provoke fear, then watch. The controlled scenario of vast chamber was prepared. The walls glowed with holographic projections of dangerous worlds. Simulated storms lashed the environment with wind and fire. Robotic creatures, designed to resemble predators from the most dangerous planets in the galaxy, prowled and snapped. Alien officials watched from hidden observation points, expecting panic. The humans were escorted into the chamber. Their eyes widened slightly at the sight of the projections and moving robots, but they did not retreat. Captain Elias Ward stepped forward, scanning the environment carefully. "Stay calm," he said to his crew, voice steady. "Analyze first, react second. There is nothing here that can truly harm us." Dr. Raman adjusted her translator and observed the holographic creatures. "They seem programmed to provoke fear," she said. "But they are predictable," Lieutenant Clark nodded. "Then we treat it as a challenge. Nothing more. The test begins. As soon as the humans moved, the robotic predators lunged. Alarms blared and lights flashed, designed to startle and confuse. Other species observing the humans expected screams, jerky movements, or frantic attempts to escape. Instead, the humans acted as if they were walking through a normal corridor. They sidestepped the robotic attacks with careful precision, calmly analyzing patterns and making decisions as a group. Marcus Silva, the engineer, used a portable tool to disable several aggressive machines without panic. His movements were deliberate, slow, and controlled. Every time a machine came too close, another crew member gently guided it aside or deactivated it. The alien observers leaned forward, astonished. "They are not afraid," one whispered. "Not even once?" another replied. "They treat danger like it is routine?" Indeed, the humans treated each threat logically. They had no fear, no hesitation, no frantic energy, just calm, steady action. Every step, every gesture, reinforced a sense of quiet authority, unexpected diplomacy. The test's designers had expected tension, maybe even faint signs of panic, but nothing prepared them for what happened next. Instead of merely avoiding the threats, the humans began to communicate. They made soft, clear signals to the robotic creatures, guiding them away from their paths, gently teaching them not to attack. In a matter of minutes, the predators moved in harmony with the humans, following their directions rather than acting on aggression. The chamber, designed to terrify, now felt peaceful. Aliens observing the scene could not believe it. Their own understanding of power and control had been challenged. Calmness the humans showed could alter the behavior of even programmed machines. "Calmness is their weapon," muttered one observer. "They do not need violence. They change the world with stillness." The Empire's unease. Back in the council chambers, the recordings were played on the largest holographic screens. Every leader watched silently. "Do you see this?" General Threx growled. "They are not hiding anything. They are simply steady, and the predators obey them, not because of fear, but because of presence." Ambassador Valari frowned. "Presence? It seems almost unnatural." "Yes," another leader agreed. "Every species we know reacts first with fear, then with reason. These humans reverse the order. Calmness comes first, fear second, or not at all." Discussions became heated. Many feared humans not for their technology, but for their ability to influence others without weapons. Some suggested sending a warning fleet. Others argued it might provoke hostility unnecessarily. The consensus was uneasy. Humans could not be underestimated. The human perspective, meanwhile, the humans had completed their first day in the chamber. They returned to their quarters, tired but composed. Captain Elias gathered the crew. "Today was a test," he said calmly. "They wanted to see fear. We did not give it to them. We reacted with careful thought, teamwork, and composure. That is our strength. Lieutenant Clark nodded. I think they are frightened. Not by us, but by how easy we are with danger. Dr. Raman smiled. We did not fight. We did not threaten. We simply stayed human, steady, curious, careful. And it worked. The crew shared quiet smiles, understanding that their calmness had already made an impression far beyond what anyone could have expected. A growing reputation over. The next few days, the humans were observed constantly. Every action, every word, every step was noted. Visitors from across the empire came to see them in person. Some approached politely, others with caution, all eager to understand what kind of species could remain so unshaken. At first, the humans did not realize the effect they were having. They merely walked, spoke, and observed as they always did. They asked about alien history, technology, and culture. They listened with patience and respect. They helped wherever they could. Yet everywhere they went, aliens whispered, "The humans do not tremble. Their calm is a weapon stronger than any fleet. Even in danger, they are steady." It was true. Calmness, a trait often overlooked by the Empire, had become humanity's most powerful feature. The test's outcome. Finally, the Alien Council reconvened. Every observation of the humans was reviewed. The predators in the chamber had been harmless to the humans, but the humans' composure had altered the experiment itself. It was no longer a test of fear. It had become a demonstration of control, leadership, and mental strength. "Their calm is astonishing," said General Threx. "I do not understand it. No species should behave this way naturally." Ambassador Valari leaned back, thoughtful. Perhaps it is not unnatural. Perhaps it is simply human. Others remained uneasy. The humans had passed the test, not by fighting, not by fleeing, but by being calm. And that calmness, simple as it seemed, had become more powerful than any of the Empire's weapons. The human reflection. That evening, as the humans gathered for dinner, Captain Elias spoke quietly. "We have done nothing but stay calm. Yet everywhere we go, they watch us differently, some with curiosity, some with fear." Dr. Raman nodded. "It is strange. We are not trying to frighten anyone. We are just ourselves." Lieutenant Clark smiled. "And yet they see our calm as something extraordinary. Maybe in a galaxy filled with fear and power, calmness is the greatest strength." Marcus Silva laughed softly. Who knew being steady could terrify so many? The crew laughed together, lightheartedly, though each knew the truth. Their calmness had already made a mark on the Empire. It was no longer just about surviving. They had begun shaping perception, the Empire's new concern. Even as the humans rested, alien leaders debated their next steps. Could a species be trusted when it seemed fearless? Could calmness hide a secret? Strength? Or was it simply that humans were unpredictable, immune to conventional fear and therefore potentially dangerous? Every decision, every whisper, every rumor reinforced the same idea. Humans were unlike any species the Empire had known. Their calm had become a legend even before they had done anything truly extraordinary, and the humans themselves, unaware of the Empire's growing anxiety, continued as they always did, curious, respectful, and calm. Weeks had passed since the humans first arrived at the grand station of the Galactic Empire. The crew of the Odyssey had moved carefully among alien species, asking questions, learning about new cultures, and observing the Empire's vast and complex systems. Yet no matter where they went, whispers followed them. The humans do not fear. Their calm cannot be broken. They walk through storms untouched. These words spread across the station, through reports, traders, visitors, and even children of alien races. What the humans had intended as quiet observation was now a legend. Calmness, something so simple, had become their signature. The council reconsiders high in the council chamber. The Empire's leaders reviewed the latest reports. General Threx's tail lashed nervously across the floor. Every action they take, no matter how small, changes the perception of the Empire. Fear, which we rely upon, is powerless against them. Ambassador Valari, still fascinated, added, "It is not fear that drives them. It is thought, patience, and observation. They act with care, yet the result is authority. Even without weapons, they influence everything around them." Other leaders remained silent, uneasy. Some had visited the humans personally and witnessed their quiet ways. The calm composure of the humans unsettled even the strongest warriors. Slowly, the council realized that these newcomers were not ordinary. They could not be dismissed as naive or weak. A surprise meeting. One day, the humans were summoned to a private chamber. It was smaller than the council room, but filled with light and strange, humming technology. At the center stood the leader, who had first addressed them upon arrival, the tall, silver-blue being whose eyes glowed like lanterns. "Humans," the leader said, voice calm but serious. "We have observed you for some time. Your behavior is unusual. You do not show fear. You do not react with panic. Even in danger, you remain steady. We cannot explain it." Captain Elias stepped forward, as always calm. "We are explorers. We observe, we learn, we act carefully. We do not mean to frighten anyone." The leader paused, studying him. "Fear is natural. Even the strongest species feel it. Yet you do not. How is this possible?" Elias smiled, lightly. "Perhaps it is not about being fearless. Perhaps it is about choosing how to respond. Fear does not guide us. Curiosity and careful thought do." The alien leader nodded slowly. Something in its glowing eyes changed, a mixture of respect, uncertainty, and fascination. A growing respect news of the meeting spread quickly. Other alien factions visited the humans, sometimes under the guise of diplomacy, sometimes as curiosity. Everywhere they went, humans were polite, patient, and attentive. They asked questions, helped where they could, and observed quietly, yet their calmness never faltered. In situations that would have terrified any other species, the humans remained steady. Traders carrying dangerous goods paused to watch them handle machines with care. Young cadets practicing drills stopped to study the humans' composure. Soldiers, even those trained for years in battle, found themselves uneasy. It was clear. Humanity's calm was not merely a trait, it was a force. It commanded attention, respect, and caution. The test of influence. The Empire decided to stage a new scenario. This time it was not meant to provoke fear. Instead, the humans would witness a dispute between two powerful factions of alien species over trade routes and technology. The council wanted to see how humans would react, whether their calmness would remain intact under high stakes. When the humans arrived, the scene was tense. Aliens argued loudly, weapons at the ready. Sparks flew from malfunctioning energy devices. Panic could have erupted at any moment. Captain Elias surveyed the situation quietly. "Let us help them," he said softly. "We do not take sides. We guide, we calm, we show reason." Dr. Raman activated her translator device. "Please stop. Listen to reason," she said to both sides. Her voice was clear and firm, yet gentle. "Violence will solve nothing. Step back, and let us find a solution together." The aliens paused. They did not expect words to carry such authority. Slowly, the arguing parties lowered their weapons. The humans helped mediate, using calm logic and careful observation. By the end of the day, the dispute had been resolved without further conflict. The Empire's leaders were astonished. Their most skeptical officials admitted quietly that the humans' calmness had done what fleets and weapons could not. The ripple effect, across the Empire, stories of humans' calm spread further. Traders, diplomats, and scholars all repeated the tales. Some said humans could face death without fear. Others claimed they could influence others with quiet speech alone. Some suggested humans might be natural leaders, capable of uniting the galaxy, not through force, but through presence. Even alien children told their teachers about humans. "They do not scream," one youngling said. "They do not run, they only watch and think. They are calm." The Empire had built its reputation on fear, power, and control. But now a single human crew demonstrated that another approach existed. Calmness, patience, and careful thought had proven stronger than intimidation or force. Human reflection. One evening, the crew gathered on a balcony overlooking the massive city ship below. Stars stretched endlessly beyond the station, but the humans were not thinking of them. They were thinking of the Empire, its countless species, and the strange attention they now received. Lieutenant Clark spoke first. "Captain, do you realize what we've done? We didn't fight. We didn't threaten anyone. Yet everywhere we go, they respect and fear us." Elias nodded quietly. "We acted as humans do. Calm, careful, observant. We did not seek power. We did not seek attention. Yet that is what we created." Dr. Raman added, "Perhaps in a galaxy filled with fear and violence, calmness is seen as power. And perhaps that is exactly what humans offer, a different way of being." Marcus Silva laughed softly. "Who would have thought? Being calm could terrify the galaxy." The crew smiled together, sharing quiet laughter. They had no intention of conquering anyone. They were simply themselves. And yet that simple truth had already changed the Empire. The Empire's final decision. The Council convened one last time to discuss the humans. Reports, recordings, and direct observations were reviewed. Every leader had come to the same conclusion. Humans were unlike any species they had known. "They are not our enemies," General Thrax admitted reluctantly, "nor do they seek to control us. Yet their presence demands caution. Their calm commands attention." Ambassador Valari smiled faintly. "Perhaps we have learned from them. Perhaps there is value in observing, thinking, and acting with patience. They may teach us more than we expect." The Council decided to grant the humans full freedom on the station, under observation, with access to resources and information. They were allowed to explore, learn, and interact with alien species. Humanity's reputation was no longer that of strangers or intruders. It was something new, something remarkable. The humans had arrived as explorers. They had intended only to observe and learn. And yet, in the process, they had become the most talked about species in the Empire, a quiet victory. The humans returned to their quarters tired but content. Captain Elias looked at his crew. "We did nothing extraordinary. We were calm, patient, and curious. And yet, the galaxy sees us differently now. That is enough for our first contact." Dr. Raman smiled. "It seems the greatest power we have is simply being ourselves." Lieutenant Clark added, "And the galaxy will remember it. Fearless, patient, steady. Humans." Marcus Silva laughed quietly. "I never thought calmness would be our secret weapon, and yet here we are. Outside, the stars shone as they always had. But in the halls of the Galactic Empire, the humans had left an impression that would last for generations. They had not conquered with weapons. They had not commanded with threats. They had conquered through calm, presence, and quiet strength. And that was a story the Empire would never forget.